Welcome to Constitution Hill. Constitution Hill is one prison in the world where two Nobel Peace Prize laureates were once imprisoned, namely Mr. Mandela and Chief Albert Luthuli, who were both kept here during the treason trial in 1956. What we offer here at Constitution Hill are guided tours for groups of individuals and schools. We also offer tours for corporates. We also have different kinds of special tours. We are now in the Great African Steps. The reason why we call them great is because these are the bricks taken from a demolished prison structure, which was an awaiting trial block, taken down in 2002, paving way for the Constitutional Court. And these steps, they lie between the past, which is the number 4 section this side, and the future, which is the Constitutional Court on my right-hand side. Constitution Hill comprises of 3 prisons. The first prison dates back to 1893. It was built by President Paul Kruger, housed only the white male prisoners. It came up as a result of Johannesburg being discovered as a mining village in 1886 by an Australian prospector by the name George Harrison. After the discovery of gold, President Paul Kruger saw a need for a prison just to maintain law and order in the growing mining village of Johannesburg. The second prison was built for the non-white males. Coloureds, Asians, Africans, they were all classified as non-whites, and that one was built in 1902, where the likes of Robert Sobukwe, Mahatma Gandhi were once kept. This is the food area where food was dished out to the non-white male prisoners. And food was done according to racial lines, as it was during apartheid. And these were their diets, and this was supplied by the minister in parliament in 1970. These are the isolation cells. Solitary confinement, they were usually called the deep dark holes. Prisoners were kept in isolation for crimes committed inside the prison or if they were political prisoners. Some were kept here for 90 days, some would be here for 180, up to 12 months. Locked inside here 23 hours a day, just an hour outside. And the lights were kept on 24 hours a day, never switched off. Some of the ex-prisoners testified that the guards would normally come here at night, take a prisoner out of a cell, he would be beaten to death, taken to the mortuary next door, the post-mortem would come back saying he died out of cold. This is a communal cell designed for 30, ended up housing up to 80 prisoners. Overcrowding was a constant problem which led to the closure of this prison in 1983. As dark as it is, it had no lights. The only form of light would come through the openings on top. And the last prison was built in 1910, which is the women's prison. It held both blacks and whites kept in separate sections because of apartheid. This was the entrance only for the non-white females. The white females were processed from the other side. This is where both criminals and political prisoners were kept. In most cases, political prisoners were separated because they were regarded as terrorists. Amongst the ex-prisoners here is Winnie Mandela, who was kept here on 2 separate occasions. Firstly, it was in 1958 when they were demonstrating against the carrying of the identity books for women in the CBD of Johannesburg. While she was kept here during that time, she was 2 months pregnant and she nearly miscarried because of the conditions. Lucky there was Albertina Sisulu, the wife of Walter, who was a midwife at that time, who managed to sort her out. Constitution Hill is now a heritage site and a home to our Constitutional Court. Behind me, it's the door to the Constitutional Court of South Africa. Engraved on the door are 27 basic human rights found in Chapter 2 of the Constitution. So this was once a place where people's rights were violated. It's now where those rights are being protected in the new democratic South Africa.